Can you hear me, Kiwi? Alright. My wallpaper has gone missing. Good morning! Good morning, good morning, good morning. Alright, so what's it? I think today's class is from Lasso Guard, specifically for our top student, Stephen. Marianne, I'm sorry you lost your place. Ginger has lost 2 classes, so therefore stuff. Alright, let's get started. It happens, don't worry, Marianne. Lasso Guard. Now, there's a couple things you gotta know about Lasso. It's a hard guard to pull off moves, basically. It's usually I'd say usually you use it mostly for stalling and to keep yourself safe. It's a very good tool to stop guard passes. But all of the techniques I'm going to show you are going to be quite difficult to do against someone good. But if you want to play Lasso Guard, you can. And you can get really good at it. There's a couple of people who are good at it. But it usually revolves around 1 or 2 moves. There isn't a very big chain from it. So to get started, we have like 2 options that we can force people into. Standing guard and kneeling guard, those are your main 2. As long as you know which move you're going for from each one, you should be okay. We'll deal with the kneeling one first, which is the most common one, then the standing, I think. So your kneeling entry, I don't know what happened when I exported the video came out in weird quality, but I hope you can see it. So you got your regular, so this is Lasso Guard for anyone who doesn't know. Got your regular shrimp move, and then you loop it in. You can play the Lasso Guard deep or shallow. There's a couple of options from there. Your traditional one is somewhere around the middle. You're controlling the sleeve here. That's the main tool. And it's a very hard guard to pass if you got strong grips and quite tight legs. Marianne, stop threatening people. Alright, so that's your standard entry, okay? Then, alright, so from the kneeling approach, what you're aiming to do is just force someone into your half guard. If it doesn't happen, that's your primary sweep gone, basically. So here it is. Your standard move is going to be forcing them into the half guard, reaching for the trousers there, and then doing your sweep. That's our regular lasso sweep. Not much details to it other than scooting in to keep this leg right on the mat, and then you're just using all of your grips and legs and limbs to force everything to the side. That's your regular lasso sweep. This is the hardest sweep to pull off. Everyone knows this sweep. Not hard to, basically just hard to pull it off. People always lean backwards to avoid a sweep, but this is where the other chain comes in. So you're probably going to be using these moves a bit more than the regular lasso sweep at the higher belts. So you're going to attempt the sweep. Everybody's going to lean back. So you're left with 2 moves. We got the Clark Gracie omoplata and the arm drag, which I'm going to show you now. This is the arm drag one. So you're attempting to do the lasso sweep. you're gonna feel your partner being really like stubborn, sitting on their heels, and they just feel like they're not going. So this is the time to withdraw your leg, give up on the lasso, and you can do this arm drag move. This will catch people off guard. It's quite good as well. And the main reason you're gonna do this is because they're leaning really far off to that side. The more they lean, the easier it is for your leg to come out. If they're trying to pressure you, this isn't gonna work. But if they try to pressure you, that means you can do the regular lasso sweep, so you'll be good. Okay? So everyone understand the main two sweeps, the main sweep, and when to use it. So the regular lasso sweep, you're only gonna pull this off if people try to crush you. Then you can sweep them. If they're not crushing you and they're leaning back, scared of the lasso, take your leg out and do your arm drag. I think Caesar uses this a lot. It's like one of his top moves when he can't use his lasso guard. This could turn out to be a single leg as well, or a double sometimes. There's lots of little transitions that can happen here. Right? Your third option is the Clark Gracie omoplata, which is made famous by Clark Gracie. We're gonna watch his fights after, but omoplatas from lassos, probably if I was gonna get good at something from lasso, it would be this. It would be just omoplata setups from the lasso. Quite easy one to do. You haven't been able to do any of your sweeps. Main thing that's gonna allow you to do this is this grip here on the collar and another grip on the triceps that we're gonna see. So I don't want my partner getting away from me, so I'm gonna hold on to the collar, pull that down, and then I'm gonna secure the triceps. These are the two grips that you need, 1 and 2. The main reason is you let go of the sleeve that you're controlling with your left hand. So Kirsten right now could swim her arm free. So the only thing keeping her arm in place is my hand on the triceps there. Now I'm just gonna pull everything through, and my knee should shoot through underneath her armpit, and that becomes omoplata. Now this is probably the only move I use from lasso. I do the sweep, but if that doesn't work, I'll choose this instead. So that's your first kind of submission / transition that you can do from lasso. You could also do another omoplata where you spin underneath, but this one's a bit more simpler and safer. So just to recap our kneeling strategy, if you want one for like a beginner sort of plan, I'd say force them into the half guard, scoot in, and sweep. Morning, Yusuf. Always late for class. So that's your kneeling move. If that's not working, I'll go for the arm drag. Only if that's like leaning backwards, not letting you, then you drag. And then your Clark Gracie omoplata, you could do this anytime, to be honest. But those two doesn't work, try this one. So that's our 3 little chain, okay? So that's our strategy from a kneeling perspective, okay? The next one is your standing one, which is the most common time you're probably gonna get lasso, depending on your weight class. If you're dealing with kneeling passes, this is the only lasso you're gonna get. If you're dealing with standing passes, you're likely to get lasso a little bit more easy. Alright? Your standing entry is normally gonna be from someone trying to Toriada pass you, or from Spider. But this is it. Spider, grab the collar before you shoot in for your lasso. Otherwise, there's a few counters that your partner can do to you. So secure the collar, then shooting for your lasso. So this is really important. A lot of people let go they would just do the lasso loop without any sort of posture control, and people can posture up, right? So make sure to grab the collar first, then loop that in. So that's our regular lasso entry. Alright. Yes. So if you're ever playing spider and you're getting dashed about before you're going for lasso, it's usually because you don't have the collar grip. And this happens to half of our students at the gym that play spider guard. One of the reasons why people hate spider guard as well. They're not transitioning properly and they get passed all the time. So we're left with Lasso Guard here against the standing opponent, and we need a little plan from here. So I haven't put the traditional submission chains there, which are again shooting for triangles or omoplatas, right? You can do that, but I'm just focusing on sweeps and safer positions, okay? If you go shoot for a triangle and it goes wrong, you're very likely to lose everything that you had, so just be aware of that. So my primary move I'd say is the stomp sweep. If I had to choose this move here. We'll see later someone very good at this move. So you get your lasso in this case, right? And we're gonna go to a very untraditional sweep here, where we shoot the lasso through and we put our legs in between our partner's legs. So it's a really deep lasso at this point. And that just means it's very hard for your partner to pass to the side that lasso is weak to. If you are good at passing lasso, you know which side is a bit weaker. So whenever someone gets in the lasso and you can't do this, you can't what do you say? If you get lasso guard and you're on top, your goal should always be to pass that side. Or if you are passing to this side, you're meant to long step. So this sweep kind of prevents the first pass that people try to do. You put that leg through, shrimp, and then sweep them over. It's really important that when you do this, you're pulling the partner towards you. If they squat really low, it's really difficult to do the sweep and you'll get stuck. Well, there's little tricks that you can do, and we'll see Jamil doing it in a second. He's the guy who made up the sweep. He can pull it off quite easily. I struggle with the sweep a lot sometimes, especially when people squat low. But I believe the main tip is you need to change this angle slightly to the side so that this is right behind the kneecap. Then you can stomp. And it's a pretty powerful sweep once you get the hang of it. The other sweep from the standing sort of moves is the spin under sweep, which I used to do quite a bit. But again, it's quite difficult to do against someone good. Get your lasso, and you're gonna start looking for any legs. They might step this leg back, you go for the other one, but just aim to go in between the legs. And then once you go in between the legs, that should be like on a straight line, and your shin bone digging down should sweep them. It should be a lot more graceful than this. I couldn't spin properly over there because of the carpet. But the person should actually, I swept Kirsty into the white rug here so she doesn't hit her head or anything. But she would actually be swept probably towards that direction there. So she would do like almost a cartwheel over me, and then she'll get swept. So that's your standing spin under. This is also your omoplata setups. If you continue to spin to that side, that will turn into omoplata. And this is basically the omoplata sweep that you're seeing, but in a little different angle. Okay? When I showed you guys the kneeling version, you can also do that exact same move from the kneeling version. If you're not in half guard at all, that's the time to do it. You can just spin underneath to this side and you end up in the same sort of position where you can sweep your partner or you can take the omoplata. Alright? Any questions so far about any of the moves? This is so from our kneeling perspective, we should try to do our regular lasso sweep. That's our primary move. From standing, you got kind of two choices. You got the stomp or the spin under in terms of sweeps. Again, I haven't talked about any subs here because for most subs, you are gonna have to let go of the lasso. It's not lasso guard anymore. Alright, so if you are planning to play lasso guard, you get yourself into lasso, you check for two things: if the person's gonna stand or if they're gonna kneel. If they kneel, try your regular lasso sweep. If they feel like a rock while you're trying to do this, give up on it and try your arm drag, which is extracting your leg and dragging. If that's not working, then you can start on your like omoplatas a bit more. Try the Clark Gracie omoplata. This can be your A game. And omoplata, very underrated move, I'd say. People, especially like smaller guys, should always get rid of that omoplatas. If the person stands while they're trying to set up your lasso, don't fall into the trap of just throwing your lasso. You can, and you can get away with it, but a little bit more safer is to grab that collar first, then you can go into your lasso. And then you're left with two little options in terms of sweeps. We have our stomp sweep, which we shoot our leg all the way through. And we have our standing version of the spin under, which is this one. Alright, so let me pull up some examples. If you got any questions, fire them away now before we move on to the clips of people doing the lasso guard. Christine, what are your thoughts on lasso guard? Yeah, outside perspective. She hates it. She said, "Why do you hate it? You play lasso guard. It's not about leg length. Caesar has the tiniest legs in the world, and he can do it. Excuses, Christine. Excuses. This is what we don't need in jiu-jitsu. Here we go. Competition. Here's a nice example. This is Caesar. So his main guard is Lasso Guard. He doesn't necessarily do any of the entries I showed on this one, but he brings up a good point here, which I forgot. Anytime someone's trying to do a leg weave pass on you, which is this pass here, which is where they bring this arm through the gap and try to cross your legs, you can set up your lasso as well. They're basically giving you the lasso. So this is Caesar trying to get the sleeve here. I think he misses it on the first video, the first time. So the guy reaves his hand out, but then he does the exact same thing again. So Caesar was able to grab the sleeve now. So his partner's kneeling at this point. there's the pivot of the foot. This is the stomp, we call it on the mat, right? It's basically where, for the sweep to get started, you need to pivot this knee. So you need to stomp on the floor so you're able to pivot. Then you can sweep the partner. And there's your regular sweep. And you can see you can end up in a nice little position after you sweep. Here it is in full version. The guy brings his hand in. Little twist. Gets up on top. And you can see you can create lots of nice little scrambles. You can end up in people's back. Even if the sweep doesn't work, sometimes they bounce back and give you the back or something. There's a lot of little benefits with it, even if it goes wrong. It's like a safe move. A lot of times you sweep them and then they'll bounce back really, really fast. And then you can set up your omoplata, set up your chokes, or whatever. Okay. Next one is probably the guy most famous for Lasso Guard. It's Clark Gracie. So here we have Clark. Pulls in. And his main guard is lassos, and his main submission is omoplatas. He's trained to half guard here. I think he doesn't have lasso yet. He's playing. This is another guard that people don't know about, but it's not really a guard, but we call it bicep riding, which is where if someone, so the guy on top from half guard has generally two options. He can have his arm on the inside, on the outside. If it's on the outside and you grab his sleeve, that's the bicep ride position, where you can flare your knee and you can create quite a bit of pressure on the person's bicep to stop them from passing, etc. Just keep that in mind. That's what he's doing right now. It looks like he's doing nothing, but everywhere the guy goes, he's just putting pressure on that bicep there. And he can follow him quite easily until he starts looping his leg. There's the lasso entry, the ref's in the way, where you can see his leg looping around and his foot going in. So now he's in little shadow lasso, the guy's standing. There's the spin under to the omoplata that I was talking about. So, to make this a little bit more sense so you guys can understand, go back a bit. So this is the sweep, right? So here's our lasso entry. This one I spin and I stay in between the legs, so I'm able to sweep Kirsty and over. The move he's about to do, he spinned even more than me. So he went, imagine I stopped here, right? But he actually went beyond that. And he went all the way through to the other side, through this little gap here. And that turns it into a omoplata instead of a sweep. This is what you're going to see now. He's there. Spins underneath. But he continues the spin. And sweeps you. There's the omoplata. Bugs. If you've seen that famous photo of some guy in omoplata, it's from this fight. This is sick. He grabs the back of the shoulder. Watch him smile to the camera. He made a very important grip here. If you're ever playing omoplata and people posture up, right, you'll see that you kind of fall off quite easily. So one, he kept himself held up with this collar here. Then he goes through his legs and grabs the collar. I'd say this is one of the best grips if you're gonna get good at omoplata. And you do it even from kneeling. Always just get this grip and you'll see it's Very hard for people to shake you off. All because of that grip there. And he keeps climbing up his legs. Now here's the transition he's gonna do. There's not much Clark can do when someone stands, okay? And this is the only move they can probably do. He can also climb to the back, but it requires a lot of effort. So he grabs the trousers here. Now watch this. This is sick. And he's gonna try to hook this leg behind his knee. And it looks impossible right now, but watch how he does it. He's gonna jump over behind his knee, and he's gonna do it. There you go, he gets behind, grabs the leg. The guy collapses on this one. Throws, and then he just follows. So on this one, I think the guy just collapsed because of the pressure. But you can see the thing that you gotta remember is everyone's gonna roll out of the omoplata. So what he always does, he always follows them. He grabs the collar. The guy did a terrible job here. He's leaning back, which is the worst thing you can do in omoplata. I don't know why he's doing this though. So he makes it harder for himself to roll right now. So Clark's able to get the collar. And by the time he tries to roll, Clark's already behind him. And then it's a shoulder lock here, and it's a choke. The choke didn't look tight. It was actually the shoulder lock that tapped him. Now, let me pull off the other one. Clark. That's the first one. This is the second one. But you can see his A game is always the same. So this is him again. The start is a bit. Let's go to where he goes on the bottom because he starts on top first. Just want to focus on the lasso. Now this is a great example on how like lasso can be very difficult to pass. So he gets his lasso about 2 minutes into the match, right? And nothing exciting is gonna happen until about the 9-minute mark. And all Clark is doing is holding on to that grip. He doesn't try to sweep, he doesn't try to like do anything. The guy is trying to like stay low and not let him pass, not let him get more platters. And Clark's just holding on to that grip for dear life. And the guy just can't pass. It's a bit boring fight, but the end it gets a bit more exciting. So here's a little pass attempt from the guy on top, right? So, like I said, the weakness to lasso is the passing to that side there, or long stepping to this side. The guy on top, he wants to either get underneath this leg, or use like a shoulder drive or jump to the other side. So you're gonna see the chain of the guy trying to do that on top. He stands there, he skips to one side, then he skips to the other. But Clark already knows that, so he's always like keeping that knee really high to stop people from passing. There's the collar grip. There's the long step sort of passing style. But you can see Clark can just, as long as he has those double sleeves, it's like really hard for the guy on top to pass. There's a sweep attempt. Guy bounces back. Like I said, nothing can go wrong if the sweep doesn't work. You're still in the same spot. The guy's bicep must be like fucking burning right now. There's a lot of pressure on your bicep with this lasso guard. You can see the guy is almost past, and it looks like he's past. But just because Clark always has that double sleeve grip, he can't ever control Clark's head. So he can just chill there. And it looks like he's getting crushed. But he's really just resting, and there's not much effort on what Clark's doing. And that's why I'm saying it's a bit of a stalling position. There's another attempt at the twist sweep. There's a loop choke attempt. Every time he puts that deep collar grip, that's either for a loop choke or omoplata. There's the kicking through. There's the pulling of the bicep. Didn't work that time, but that's his entry to the omoplata that I showed you. So watch this again. Grabs the collar really deep. This hand's gonna switch to the triceps. There's the tricep grips. And this is him trying to kick through for the omoplata. There's the pulling of the triceps. But unfortunately, he doesn't get it. So he's recovered. And like I said, look at that transition that he does. He doesn't just throw the leg over. He grabs the collar first. And then he shoots in his lasso. So, guy's still trying for crushing pass. Now, this is that guy's best attempt at the pass here. He jumped over the leg. So now, Clark has to invert to get out of this. And the guy finally gets out of his lasso. So he goes a bit mental. Trying to pull out, but you can see how strong the grip is. He just ends up in the same position. Now, I think there's only a few more attempts here. Guy's still trying his low pass. It's not changing strategies. Skip a bit. I think Clark also starts changing strategies here. Shaking, same thing. He complains to the ref about something. And I think here's his omoplata setup finally. He gives up on the lasso and he goes to close guard, which he can set up his omoplata. The guy just wants to win by 2 points, so he's just the guy on top just defending the whole time. There's the omoplata. He doesn't have the arm in the right position yet, so he's trying to like wedge it in. There's the swim. Loses the elbow, so he gains. Tries to get up for the 2 points. Guy stands to avoid it. One minute left. 1 minute 30. And he's 2 points down. So right now, tough spot for him. Guy pulls guard. He's on top now. The guy had like a horrible plan. 1 minute 18. I think I'm. Clark has to pass now, otherwise he loses. See what happens. I think I pulled off the wrong fight. But I want to see what happens now. I'm pretty sure he might still get on the platter. What's this? It's a bit disappointing if he loses. I put one of the fights where he loses. There's a leg with pass. Come on, Clark. There you go. There's the pass. 50 seconds to go. I need the omoplata summit. Here's his omoplata setup. Nice. Like I said, when you get good at omoplatas, you will see that you can get it from the top, from basically anywhere. So this is his omoplata entry. He passes the guard here, and his partner underhooks him or goes for a single leg. You see that arm there? That's his indicator to go for the omoplata. So anytime someone's double legging you, single legging you, you can lie back and pass that leg over. There. Straight into a spin under. There's his omoplata. 40 seconds to go. There's the hooking of the leg. That's the same move that he did before. I think the guy taps it and he holds on for a bit, like 1 or 2 seconds more, and the guy actually passes out. Watch this. He's meant to let go. He's meant to let go. Now, he doesn't let go and the guy actually passes out. Look. There you go. That should be motivation for you. 1 minute you're losing and you get this. He's like the most photogenic guy in the world. He has about 5-6 photos of him in omoplatas smiling at cameras. Where's the one? There's a famous one. Wait, sorry. This is his that's his famous one here.
What the hell?
That's the guy who was fighting in that first video I showed you. I think he got like 70 omoplatas on that day, man. He does look like Sage. Sage is the guy from UFC. Sage Northcutt. This guy. This guy is like, I think he's like the youngest UFC fighter or something. He's like 18 and he looks like this.
What?
He was 18, he's probably like 20 something now. Yeah, he was meant to be like a prodigy, but it didn't go very well for him. No, he was like, had a few tough losses. there was a fight when he got like, he's 24. Jesus. Yeah, at a young, he like basically won everything in like kickboxing, and I think he did jiu-jitsu as well. Yep, that's right. Used to do like these crazy backflips in the cage that looked unreal. Let's see. What is his name? Was it backflips or something? He did like this. No, it wasn't him. I was getting him confused with someone else. It was what's the crazy Cuban guy's name again? There was a guy who could jump higher than the cage. It was so crazy. Y'all remember, yeah? Y'all remember, like, he's doing his high jumps, trying to do like a warm up sequence. You know how people jump to warm up?
Oh,
and
yeah,
the guy was like jumping higher than the cage. It looks unreal. Yeah, they're kind of very similar. He's like a lighter version of him. Alright guys, that's it for the lesson plan. If you gotta go, you can. I'll just be hanging around now. Check what's up on Reddit. She fought this girl who's almost foot shorter. I haven't seen his sister. He has a sister. She fights as well. What's her name? See you, Yusuf. Take care, brother. Is your sister a prodigy as well? See, Steven. Oh, Ginger, it's okay. You slowly get back there. Climbing the ranks again. This is her. Kobe. And imagine I have a brother and sister that fights. I think they can marry him. Oof, that armbar. Girls don't tap to armbars. I've seen like 10 million armbars on like these ladies and they never tap to it, man. Especially in MMA. My god.
Yeah.
Pull it back in. She's clearly a bit more jiu-jitsu. My god, look at that one.
Maybe she doesn't know she should.
That's so tough. She says, look at her face. She's like, it's nothing. I'm here every Tuesday. Look at those transitions. That was sick. You almost got the back. Triangle now. Oh my god, this is the toughest woman in the world. She's not gonna tap. You know the person. You know when you're like screwed when you got a person in a triangle and they're still trying to punch you. You just don't care. Gonna go out punching you. She's gonna escape this as well. Damn. She needs to like. We need to teach. She needs to come to our triangle lessons. This is Ginger in her comps when she gets a triangle and she can't finish. She's there for 10 minutes. god, man, how does it go not out? That looks tight as well. The ref's like pulling him back. The legs are gonna like be wobbly after this. Imagine how much she's squeezing right now. Because the girl doesn't tap to arm bars, Ginger, so she switched to the triangle. I don't think she can elbow her head from that position. It's not gonna be as powerful anyway. She's too close. Because the ref is doing the jiu-jitsu. That's the IBJF ref right there. What is the armbar? There you go, Ginger. I'm telling you, this lady, she's not tapping to anything. My god! She has rubber arms. Guillotine now. This is the greatest fight ever. Like, the most technical jiu-jitsu person against like the toughest. My god. Alright, that guillotine is gonna be difficult to finish. She's trying anything at this point, even heel kicks, you see that? Well, the corner man's gonna give her a knife in a second. Damn, that was like 3 minutes of just submission hunting. Is it gonna go to the floor again? I think the rest is just stand up. She's a kickboxer as well. Damn, she has the same build as her brother as well. Look at her. She's ripped. She is wearing a skirt. Look at the size difference. How the same weight? Must cut so much weight. You hear that? Song just went, I'm a wizard too. Where is this? One championship. Whoops. Oh no. Flyweight class. How much is flyweight? Kiwi. Google it. What's wrong with this? My mouse scroll button is messed up. That's crazy. Reach advantage. I didn't watch the Ferguson fight. I have no idea. I don't know who Ferguson is. Let me Google him. Let's see if I remember by image. Oh, Tony! Oh crap. It's not good news about his fight. Tony Ferguson rushed to hospital with horror face injuries following the shocking KO to Justin. Are they still running UFCs? When is this? 1 day ago. They are. I haven't watched like a live UFC in ages. Right, I'm off to do some conditioning training for my upcoming fight with Marianne. Nice. We're gonna host a little club. I'll do the commentating live. The winner can get to be my top student, and they'll get a stripe or something. I don't know. Right, I'll be doing Rogero's class. There's only one answer. You have 4 minutes to finish the match. Who wins this match? Let's see. I want Padme to win just because she showed heart after all those subs. Good. I guess she did win, but that was cool. I love watching Angela Lee fight. She's crazy. She's got crazy jiu-jitsu, man. That twister. Is she on UFC now? They should get her on UFC. What's she doing now? She's still on one. Oh, yeah, she is. You were? Really? What? Is this Angela Lee? Oh, the other girl. Apparently there's this girl that she pukes before a fight. Yeah. Why does she train jiu-jitsu? She's from 10th Planet. Oh, this is in Manila.
Hey.
Where's Angela Lee from? Vancouver, Canada. Oh. Ah, sick. Oh, was it her dad that got her into it? She's only 23. Jesus. Did she do any training in jiu-jitsu or no? She must. She did wrestling. She went straight into MMA. What's Punk? What's this? Oh, it's some sort of hidden wrestling. Crippling gains with empty-handed submission swap. Oh crap! Basically like MMA. Use boxing and wrestling techniques. Most success just kicking and hold locks, chokes. This is MMA. Oh, she is. Oh, that explains it. Her like jiu-jitsu level was like proper good for MMA. I've never heard of this. Right, interesting. Who's your favorite fighter, Emma? Top 3. Any. I need to go back to watching UFC. I used to love it. That guy kicks down trees with like a million fights. Yep. Look at this, Christine.
Huh?
Look at this guy. He has like over like 200 something fights, man. It's a banana tree.
Yeah. What's green?
Look at this. Look at the poor tree. Ginger, this is your neighbor. Neighbor after a few days. My god. His kicks actually scare me, man. He's savage. Ramon Deckers. What's the old school one? Oh, I like George. I saw him at the gym once, George St. Pierre. He was rolling. Ooh, the first white guy to win the Muay Thai. Jesus. I love how flexible, tight fighters are, man. Stand up was like this, and then the ground game was like jiu-jitsu, like proper good jiu-jitsu. That would be like top fights. Like you don't see it like fights like this in UFC that much. Very rare. Oh crap! Kill it. They have the same heart. Is the Wi-Fi broken? He's Dutch. Damn. Yeah. I think if I get kicked in the shin like that, I'm giving up. I don't think I have the heart. I remember training judo for like 3 days with Christine. She kept kicking my shins. I was like, fuck this. Having bruises all over my shin, man. I was like, what the fuck?
You didn't get bruises, stop lying.
Yes, I
No,
did.
you didn't.
Like, we weren't even like sparring or anything, and we get hit in the shins. It's like the most painful thing ever. Amanda Nunes. She's so funny, man. People love her in Brazil. Alright, I gotta go join Rogero's conditioning now. It's been a blast. Alright, guys, have a great day. We'll do chat more on Friday because there's no classes after that. But have a lovely week and take care. What?
Were you able to see the whole stream?
Yeah,
What? I was like blowing my nose and shit.
it's okay. People know you.